Okay, today we're going to walk you through a very simple yet very effective, easy to build anti-theft device. Uses a remote transmitter and is very cheap to make. The unit that goes with this, which I'll explain in a few minutes, only costs about $15. And in my case, I needed to add a relay because I needed a 30 amp circuit, so I added a small relay which only costs a couple more dollars. How this works is, this is in a Ford van, diesel, 1992. In the fuse box there is a fuse that controls the transmission, the glow plug relay, and the injection pump solenoid. What we've done is I've removed that fuse and I've installed this relay. So how this works is, if you go over to this vehicle right now without this and you go to start it, watch the voltmeter, no glow plug relay. Okay, if I crank it, it'll crank all day. It'll just crank and crank and crank because we have no power to the injection pump and we have no power to the glow plug relay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on. You're going to watch the voltmeter. I'm going to show you how this works. Turn it on. Notice the voltmeter. No draw. I press the on button and there's our glow plugs. I can also turn it off. Okay, so I turn the key, I press this button, and then I can start the vehicle. Right. Now the beauty of this is, every time you shut it off, you have to press the on button. Every single time, or it won't start. You can also turn it off by pressing the off button. If you turn it off, you kill the power to the injection pump. So unlike a kill switch that you have to remember to turn it off every time you want to set the alarm, this is automatic setting. Every time you turn your key off, it resets. So you can either keep this little thing on your keychain or you can mount it somewhere in the vehicle. So that you turn your key on, press your on button, start your vehicle. And no one will ever figure it out. Now I'll show you how it's all installed underneath. Really, it's very simple. It is a small receiver, a 12-volt switch, and because I needed 30 amps instead of the 15 that this normally would provide, I had to add a 30 amp relay to the end. But it only ends up having 3 wires. It has a main power wire that comes in from the fuse that contains a 30 amp fuse that powers the receiver. A wire that leaves, that's the blue one, that goes back to the fuse panel. That comes off of the relay. The relay is powered and there's a single pole, single throw switch in that relay that then activates the blue wire, which goes back to the fuse panel, and then there's a ground wire that just goes to ground. I have on the fuse panel itself added 2 male plugs. What this allows me to do is just basically take the fuse out and plug this in. Now if something goes wrong with this while I'm on the road, I keep a 30 amp fuse in the vehicle, so all I got to do is unplug these 2 wires, plug in my 30 amp fuse, and away I go. No thief is ever going to figure it out. To him it just looks like accessory wires plugged into the fuse panel. They're never going to figure it out. At least I hope not anyway. And that's basically all it is. Normally you wouldn't have the relay because 15 amps is usually enough for any ignition circuit. In this case, it powers the transmission, it powers the glow plug relay, and it powers ignition, glow plug relay, and something else. I don't know. Charging system too, it covers. This is what it comes in. It says 12 volt remote control kit. This is the box, and hold on a second here. I do this one-handed. It's not easy. This is your box. Okay. You can buy these on Amazon. You can buy these on eBay. It's a very simple setup. It has power to the entire thing, an output, a ground, and a blue wire, which is your antenna. Which all I did over here was wrap it around the relay so that gave it a place to keep it. Okay? So you could use this all by itself. Just find a relay in your fuse panel that when you unplug it, the car goes dead. And replace it with the in and the out of this. And an additional ground. Tuck this up under somewhere and you've got exactly what you need. It comes with 2 transmitters in a little package. And it appears to work quite well. I've had it in there a couple of weeks now, and I don't see any problems with it for a long, long time. And like I said, if you have a problem with it, just carry a 30 amp fuse. And on the side of the road, in 10 seconds, you can unplug this thing, plug in your fuse, and you're okay. And like I said before, do you really think these thieves are going to be smart enough to figure this out? Ever? And in my case, the red wire goes in the top where the old fuse came out of, because that's my constant power. As soon as I turn my key on, I get power there. And the blue wire, I don't know if you can see that there or not, the blue wire goes in the bottom, which is where the fuse feeds to. All right, then my ground is just up underneath here, which is just any old ground, and then it just tucks. I get it taped up nice, put a fuse holder in there so that everything's protected, the same way as the original fuse would protect things. This 30 amp fuse protects everything. And it just works very, very well. And nobody's ever going to figure it out. Although anybody watching this video is going to be able to figure it out. Hopefully, the person that tries to steal my truck is not a YouTube watcher. So one more time, I'll just show you it, and then I'll move on. So here's my transmitter. I just turned it on. Look at that. See? You can watch the volt gauge. It's just really neat. And it's totally resetting. So I'm going to turn on my ignition now and my glow plug relay because the engine's cold. And I'm going to start it. And away I go. It just works nice. And I hope somebody can use some of this information because I think it's a pretty neat setup. It took me a while to figure it out and how it was going to work. I wanted something special for this truck, and I think I found it. All right, and total cost is 20 bucks. Well, you got to figure the fuse holder too. So, I don't know, 22 bucks.